And joining us now is Shaniqua McClendon, Vice President of Political Strategy and Head of Vote Save America at Crooked Media. She also began her career as a White House intern for former President Obama. Shaniqua, thank you for being here with us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
So your take on Obama's advice, this idea of toughening up. On the one hand, I think there's a lot of truth to that there are a lot of Democrats who've kind of been on the sidelines, complaining, but not necessarily figuring out how they're going to get back into the ring and fight it out. On the other hand, he was able to say all of this kind of from the comfortable perch of, like working on a podcast and a bunch of documentaries and shows and not really having to fight it out day to day. So where do you fall?
Yeah, I mean, I think what he said is true. Democrats should toughen up. I don't think it's fair to say that, all of them have not been. There have been a lot of Democrats who have been being really vocal and really trying to take it to Donald Trump. I know he's done being president, and many will say he doesn't owe us anything else. But I think if we are in a moment of crisis and you've ever led this country, you should still care about this country enough to be out there. I've had this crazy thought that if every time Donald Trump did something crazy or said something crazy, Barack Obama should have like a press conference or something. And that's like the far end of the spectrum, but he is someone who can command attention. And so part of where I don't think it's fair is most Democrats are not Barack Obama. They can't command attention the way he can. And we're in a media environment that even if you're fighting, if no one hears you, it's not worth anything. People listen to him. So I do think it's fair. Just again, if you care about this country and if you're a president, I assume you do, you should, be doing a little bit more if you are calling on others to do this.
I do wonder, though, if he were more active, if he were more vocal, would he also get complaints about crowding out new voices in the party? Because he is such a huge presence. He is still quite popular. If you look at polling for Democrats who are currently in office, they're basically all underwater. He's one of the few Democrats with a national profile who people still like, which is great, which means he has more influence. But would he then be accused of sucking up all the oxygen in the room and not allowing new leadership to rise? Yeah,
he probably would be accused of that, but those people are not pushing through right now. I mean, you have a few people who are people like Jasmine Crockett and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, but the point now is that we are in a really dire situation. If it was just, Jeb Bush was president and we didn't like what he was doing because we're Democrats and he's a Republican, sure, Obama should step aside and let new people rise to the occasion. But our rights are being taken away every day. And if Barack Obama is someone who can push back on that and at least get people to pay attention to the fact that that's happening, it matters a lot. And so, I think that is not an argument. I wish that was the thing we had to worry about. Right?
I was going to say, just to piggyback off of that, is for Obama to actually lead the way for the new generation. I don't think the fact is, and going back to your point, which is he doesn't owe us anything. In fact, I would argue he still does because he's been at the perch and he knows the responsibilities that he should turn around and say, look, this is the moment that we find ourselves in, exactly to your point. Here are the dangers, and pave the way for a new generation to kind of lead the way. What I find interesting, though, is that when there are people, whether it is, and some of the ones that you mentioned, AOC, Representative Crockett, they seem to still they are national figures in the sense, but they don't command a national attention. They are still kind of local politicians. AOC maybe a little bit more with the Fight Oligarchy tour. But it seems that when these voices emerge, when you have a Zohran Mamdani or an AOC or a Bernie Sanders, and I'm not just cherry picking those on the left, there are people on the right who kind of make the center of the Democratic Party, I should say. They make their name, and the Republican Party doesn't coalesce. People try to undercut them. People try to take their knees out from underneath them. And so it also doesn't help that the Democratic Party tries to silence the voices of those that have a track record and are making inroads with all kinds of voters.
Do you think, to build off that, do you think Obama owes more to people like a Zohran Mamdani? Should he be out there recognizing that there's something happening there? And even if they don't agree on everything, they've inspired some people who are getting off the sidelines, which is sort of the whole point of the game.
Right.
And help them make their message and I guess share a little bit of the swagger and sauce that he has.
He is
some of the people who don't have it.
I mean, he is fun. The reason we have these quotes from Obama are that he did a big fundraiser to help a couple of women who are running for governor in potentially well, I guess New Jersey isn't a swing state, but, in New Jersey and I think it was Spanberger in Virginia, he's trying to help. I don't know.
He has a lot more value than money, though. If that was all he was worth, which, you think about someone like, I hope this doesn't come off the wrong way, someone like Nancy Pelosi. She can raise a lot of money. I wouldn't call her the most effective communicator ever. Right. And so, I wouldn't expect her to go out and do what I'm suggesting that Barack Obama go do. But he captivates people. He captivates a lot.
And Michelle.
Yes, and Michelle Obama. And so I do think that there is more that, he could be doing because, look, he said something behind closed doors at a fundraiser, and we're talking about it right now. So just imagine if he actually stepped up to the microphone and participated.
And I keep coming back to this point again. Now, what if Obama came out and said, enough with this nonsense about Mamdani? He's going to be everybody should get behind him. And yes, he may not be the candidate that I personally like on every single one of these issues, but he has captured the zeitgeist. He is speaking to the younger people. He is building a coalition, and we as a Democratic Party should get behind him.
Same way Barack Obama did.
Yeah, exactly, right? And if he did that, I wonder then if the people that are on the fence and the people that are trying to kind of kneecap Mamdani would be able to park that aside and say, okay, this is our moment in a big city. This guy's leading the fight against Trump in New York.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Shaniqua, I hope that you still have a line to all the former Obama folks.
I do work for them.
Feel free to come back anytime.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we will need your insights again in the future, no doubt.